Hi, welcome back to another episode of Wellness with Mo. Hi, my name is Mo, and this week's episode, we're going to talk about a topic that most of us deal with on a daily basis. The topic is anxious thoughts and worried thoughts, and these things happen to us, like I said, on a daily basis, which can put us in a state of panic and in a state of anxiousness. And because this is due to many things, firstly, of course, due to the social media and due to the fast-pacing movement of our world. So we are always thinking with negative thoughts. We're always anxious. We're always worried. Myself included, yourself. We're constantly worried. So today's episode, I want to discuss how we can overcome these negative thoughts and what are steps that we can do so that we can overcome the issues that we face these days. So that said, it is important to note that with some simple mindfulness tricks, it is easy to overcome such issues and such thoughts. So what I want to talk to you about deeply is that when we tend to wake up with these thoughts, worried thoughts of your health and wellness, or worried about your children's future, we all have these thoughts. And yes, sometimes it is difficult not to worry, no matter how mindful and how much practice and meditation one puts into it. We are only human beings. I myself is a pure example. I mean, yes, I preach mindfulness. I try and practice mindfulness. I try as much as possible to be mindful, but unfortunately, not all the time these techniques can help. Why is that? I will explain to you later in the episode that at least 80% of our thoughts, daily thoughts, are either negative or repeating negative thoughts. So it is very difficult when we want to practice mindfulness or do some techniques. It's very difficult to overcome 80% of those thoughts. We have to overcome the main issues or the main thoughts that create or that shape the day that you face. So it is really important. Actually, when I was writing this episode yesterday, I wondered about my children's educational future and how scared I am at that point of time. So you can imagine that we tend to think and overthink and reanalyze and worry and be anxious because we live during a time of uncertainty, during a time that nothing is for sure, during a time that we are in a recession in Egypt, of course, and worldwide, during a time that there are many wars all around us, many things that impact us and affect us. Because we are a global community. You are not anymore different continents and different islands and different countries who speak different languages and have different cultures and different customs and norms. No, we are one global village. So whatever impacts us in the north will impact us in the west, in the south, in the east. So I was thinking about my children's education. I was really worried. Do you ever get that kind of worry? Do you ever think about that? Definitely you do. And if you tell me no, I never feel anxious or I never feel worried, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and truly be honest to yourself that what worries you might not say it, but you may feel it in your body. So we always try to strive to reach to a point where we are not worried anymore, and we are not anxious anymore. And that point is there, but it's not really there, because no matter how you get to that point, and if you reach to that point, you still feel worried and anxious to the next step and the next step. So it's really, really important to know that because of human nature, we will always be worried. And that is our default mind. That is our fight or freeze mode that we are built in. This is, we have to always be fighting, or we always will be running away from fear, or be freezing away so that nothing happens to us. This is our typical default. So it is important that we are always trying to think positive thoughts. However, having a game plan, as I mentioned before at the beginning, and employing some mindfulness techniques can help us handle these thoughts and overcome it. Why? It is important to point out that, as I mentioned, we live in a fast-paced life full of anxiety levels which are usually high, and especially this is true for women more than men. And here are some statistics I found out on the internet while I was doing my research yesterday and writing this content, that according to the WHO, 3.6% of the global population, which is around 264 million people globally, have the anxiety disorder, which is a huge amount of people, which is really worrying. What is even more worrying, that 4.6% globally are women who suffer anxiety issues, while versus 2.6% of men versus anxiety issues. It is finally worth mentioning that as humans, we usually experience from 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts daily, and usually these thoughts are negative, repetitive, full of worry, full of anxiousness, and as a result, it is, like I said, it is really difficult to be mindful all the time with all those thoughts. It will literally drain your energy. You will not achieve what you wanted, and literally it will be very difficult. However, you can practice mindfulness by acknowledging your first and last thought, and this is really important. So the first and last thought of the day, you can set it and the rest of the day, and to become more productive, more effective, more efficient. So if you are able to tackle your first thought and your second and your last thought, you can easily have a more productive, more efficient, more effective day with less worry, with less anxiety. So, that said, here are some really vital tips. Number 1, for the first and last 20 minutes of the day, don't look at your phone. Looking at your phone in the morning and before you sleep places extreme pressure and anxiety on yourself, and this can be avoided. So my first advice would be not to look at the phone. We all tend to do that. It's a default, it's an autopilot thing. It's like brushing your teeth in the morning. Try as much as possible. And when you start, if you start like 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, then an hour, I promise you that the rest of your day would be filled with positivity and motivation. But if we look at our mobiles and look at the social media, or look at our WhatsApp messages, or look at our emails, and the stress and anxiety levels start to increase because we need to reply on this person, we need to message back this person, we need to check on what happened in the world. All this puts a lot of pressure and anxiety on the first 20-30 minutes of the day for yourself. And the same thing when you want to sleep, don't look at your mobile the last 20-30 minutes, because when you do that, A, puts a lot of pressure, B, puts a lot of anxiety, C, you're not able to sleep well, deeply, and restfully. You will not be able to. And this is, again, a lot of people do not understand that this really happens. Okay, so my second tip, and this is something over the years I felt it's really important, and I felt that it really helps me to start the day. When you place your alarm clock, try placing an alarm clock that is, what would I say, nice, that was calm, that is okay, that would wake you up, but not scare you. I mean, don't put an alarm that's a fire alarm, or someone's shouting, or a big noise. Try and put something that is calm, relaxing, and you are able to wake up on it. What I have is my alarm is set on birds chirping in the morning, as if I'm sleeping in the forest or in the woods, and waking up and hearing the birds chirping. It's so calm and relaxing and restful that it really sets my day in the right direction. Number 3, a strategy would be breath work. And breath work, again, I'll repeat it again and again and again. Breath work is the foundation of living a mindful life. And because we tend to overlook our breath, and tend to, when we're anxious and worried and moving quickly, our breath tends to race and our heartbeat tends to race. But if we take a deep breath in the morning and exhale it deeply few times before we start our day, so imagine how your day will be. Imagine how your thoughts will be. So breath work is really important, because it puts you in a state of calmness and in a state of positivity. And another amazing practice I would recommend is listening to calm music in the morning and enjoying the sounds. I do this a lot. Sometimes I listen to piano, sometimes I listen to those Japanese music with the like waterfalls, and sometimes I listen to meditation music, which is really calm music, so that I can calm myself in the morning, so that I can enjoy the day, so that I can be grateful that I'm living today, and grateful that I'm alive, and grateful that I'm breathing. So it's really important. My last tip to you is, again, journaling. And journaling is super important if you want to remove those anxious thoughts and remove those worried thoughts. Put them in a piece of paper, write down, and especially practice journaling in the morning once you wake up and before you sleep. In the morning, put all the thoughts, the negative thoughts that you want to get rid of, that you want to overcome, that you want to be mindful of. End of the day, check that those thoughts in your journal you have been able to overcome, or you have been able to manage not to think about them, and write them down. Write down even those thoughts that you still are thinking about. It is important. It is healthy, it is good to do such a thing. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And until next week, I'm still, again, planning my guests. Yes, I promise that it will be 1 week. I'll talk about a topic, and the next week I'll have a guest. But we're still in the plan. Most probably, our first guest maybe will be on the 19th. We will record on the 19th of August. So most probably the first guest will be in the week of the 19th. And that will be Nadine Ali. She is one of the stars of podcasting in Egypt. She's a young female, a young coach. We will talk about mindfulness and wellness and well-being in the workplace, and how corporates need to integrate wellness and well-being in their culture, and how successful corporates and successful companies have integrated this and have led a friendly environment full of vulnerability and full of safety. That is a discussion for a later date. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. God bless you. Be safe and be mindful.